Patrick Henry is remembered as the founding father of the United States of America. He's mostly remembered for his infamous speech at St. John's Church in 1775, where he cried, "Give me liberty or give me death." He was also the first governor of Virginia and served in that capacity for 5 terms. He was an anti-federalist and strongly opposed a strong central government and did not accept the new federal government until the passage of the Bill of Rights. Prior to this, he had served time in the Virginia House of Burgesses, where he opposed the Stamp Act, and the Virginia House of Burgesses endorsed his Stamp Act resolves, which were published in the colonies in Britain, which this helped to establish him firmly as an uncompromising opponent of Britain's imperialism, leading up to the American Revolution. The historic Red Hill is his home, and it's a must-see site, as Patrick Henry was one of the men who was definitely responsible for the founding of the country and highly influential in developing the government in Virginia as well as the nation as a whole. The grounds in the home help to portray to visitors what it was actually like during life in the colonial era. There's even living history days there where volunteers dress in colonial era clothing and demonstrate what life was actually like during the period through cooking, through blacksmith, different ways of how life was. Redhill.org also provides various resources online for teachers and students to use. There's actually a virtual tour that's available for visitors who aren't actually able to physically attend the site. Patrick Henry's library is also available electronically on there. There's various documents that were written by Patrick Henry in terms of even like the transcription of his infamous speeches, as well as additional, information about the property itself. So Patrick Henry actually purchased the 700-acre tract of land known as Red Hill in 1794. So this is after he had kind of semi-retired from being a lawyer. Now this home is actually different from those of Thomas Jefferson, his house at Monticello, and Palmer Forest, or George Washington's Mount Vernon, as Patrick Henry's home was actually a much more modest and smaller home in comparison to Thomas Jefferson and George Washington's homes. At the time that he moved there were actually 11 people, so it was rather cramped, but they all managed to fit in the home. Now on the property there was his law office there as well, where he worked and used it as a study. In his retirement, he tutored his children there. As I mentioned, he had a library, which actually contained various books on multiple topics from math to geography to language and religion. In the evenings, Henry would spend an hour there in prayer and meditation. He also often walked the vast property as it was isolated and spent a lot of time secluded and kind of in his own thoughts. Now, after Henry died, the house was left, and half the plantation was left to his 2 sons, John Henry and Edward Winston Henry. The 2 families actually lived in the home until they outgrew the home, and they ended up dividing the property in 1832. The property did remain in the family until Lucy Henry Harrison died, leaving it to her nurse. Lucy had expanded the original home to the point that it was at about an 18-room mansion until it had burned down in 1919. Now, the nurse ended up having to sell the property to clear the estate's debts, but the Patrick Henry Memorial Foundation was formed in order to go ahead and purchase the property and help to restore it. And there was a large donation then that was made in order to actually reconstruct the home as it would have been in Patrick Henry's day. So Red Hill is definitely a must experience historic site, whether virtually or in person, for anyone who is studying the American Revolution.